And we are live.
Hello, hello, Jennifer. How are you doing?
I
Great to see you.
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here with you today, and thank you for the privilege of wanting to chat with me and learn more about me.
Oh, well, the honor is also totally on my side. I'm always so enthusiastic to meet new people from the Raw Vegan Bundle because that actually is what we're here for. So, people, we're always like wondering who's coming in, who's coming to watch. And for me, this is my second time using this awesome streaming software that Jennifer and her husband have all this experience with. So, you guys, please let me know hello or something if you're there because I can't see who's watching and how many people. And I would love to know like who's coming or not. So then you need to send a message and it'll come up. But if there's no message, I can't see you yet. So we are here in honor of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, and this is how I met Jennifer. Actually, I don't know much about her yet, except that she looks like this wonderful lady that makes beautiful recipes. I just had a little sneak peek in her YouTube, but that's about it. So let's ask her some questions and get to know her. And Jennifer, if you have some questions for me, you can always ask questions or just volunteer information. We're always happy to know more about it. So, Jennifer, where are you from?
This is great. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And yeah, we met through this wonderful raw vegan bundle, the Ultimate Raw Bundle. And it's raw and it's available until May 11th. And you can click either of our bios and grab it for a great price. It's super exciting and got all kinds of things. And I am excited because of all the things that you put into the bundle that I'm learning so much from. But I'm currently living in Arizona. And I'm not originally from Arizona, but I'll tell you, if you go way, way back, my parents actually, my father was studying to be a medical doctor, and he ended up having to study out abroad in Italy. And so my parents lived in Italy for many years, and then I was conceived there, but my mother didn't want to have me there. So, and this may be too much information, but I'll be quick about it. So she came back to the States and had me, and then we went to Europe and lived for a short period of time. I don't speak the language. I wish I did. And then we lived in Illinois. And when I was 10 years old, we moved to California. And most of my life was in California. I have a little sporadic here and there, but now our family has been in Arizona going almost 14 years. I can't believe it. And we love the sunshine. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. No,
Cool.
no tropical fruit is natural here, but we do have some banana trees that we're trying in the yard that a friend of mine gave us, and so I don't know if that will happen.
Well, if you are in Arizona, I've been there. I've been there one time, but for me, it was like coming home. I love this place. Like, I know it's a desert, but it's such a beautiful desert and it's really alive. It's nothing like the Sahara that people think it is. So, and actually, grapefruit was there as well. So, yeah, beautiful place, beautiful place. Um, Now is a big question, of course. You're a part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. Do you create a lot of raw vegan food, and what's your favorite?
Okay, so this is a great question, and I do want to say hi to Karen Hicks. Hello from Texas in the chat. Thank you. She, responded to your request. um,
Oh, hi. Hi,
yeah.
Karen.
So, honestly, eating raw is not something that I've been doing for very long, and I'm not doing it all the time. I'm learning, and I'm so intrigued And so right now I eat a lot of raw, and I'm still learning, but I really am enjoying the simplicity of making things. Like, I'm not doing so much cooking and, all of the, you do the preparation, but then you get to cut out that extra step. So I love to do, simple things like some of these smoothies or juices. Yesterday evening, my husband and I had a fantastic meal, which was simple and I loved it. And it was basically cauliflower, and you blend it up in the food processor, and we added some other vegetables. We had bell pepper, and we had cucumber, and we had carrots and cabbage and whatever, and we put some nori sheets in there, and we just seasoned a little bit, and it was like a big bowl of kind of like the inside of a sushi, but there wasn't any rice. It was just the cauliflower.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's called poke bowl.
Okay, it was so good. So I'm like, okay, I want to eat that every day now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I totally get you. That is it. But you're most of the time you guys eat vegan, and then some of the time you eat raw vegan.
Yeah, actually, I eat whole food, plant-based, sofas, and gluten-free. And
Okay.
what that means is salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar, and gluten-free.
Okay.
So all whole foods, all plants. And that's what I eat. So, but I do sometimes have some cooked food, and I have this is a recent thing for me to learn about raw, maybe in the last year.
Yeah.
And I have tried juice feasts, and I've tried raw last year, actually. I'm sorry, I did raw for 6 weeks for my first time, and realized, okay, I need to eat more because I was still hungry. And so it's a learning curve. And I think it's really important. You're very experienced. I'm not as experienced in this, but I'm learning. And so I like to share with people what I'm learning when I'm learning it. But I definitely am all with the raw and fresh foods, the real foods, right? And I got to
Yes.
tell you, not this one, but this morning I had half of a yellow watermelon. It was just cut in half. I took the half just like that, no bowl, a spoon. I sat outside.
Oh, you're a real raw vegan now.
It was so good. So I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so have you noticed any difference between like the shift in your diet? Like, do you notice that you feel different or anything else that you've noticed?
Yes, actually. Okay, so first of all, I noticed like I'm hungry more often, right? I was hungry more often. So that told me I needed to eat more, either more portion or more often or both. But then if I did try a cooked food, I felt heavier, I felt sleepier. Sometimes I felt more satisfied, right? Because I didn't eat much of the other. And so those are the things that I've learned and experienced and felt so far. Yeah.
All right, great. Well, this is sounding very familiar. So you're not the only one. For everybody who's still eating cooked food, go there. And okay, my next question would be, so what is your contribution to this year's bundle?
Yeah, so I actually didn't have much notice to join the raw vegan bundle, so I wasn't able to do something like I did with the other bundle. I was recently in the 2025 vegan bundle. And so I don't have like a book or a recipe book for this one specifically, but there's a collaboration book on heritage that everybody who ever wants to put something in that book. And I was able to do that. And I was really excited to create a recipe that has to do with a Jewish heritage, and it's called Seamus, and it's something that is used to like on their high holidays, like Rosh Hashanah or different things where they do like a New Year. And
Okay.
traditionally, that dish is made with like a cooked stew. So it's normally has meats and it's cooked vegetables. So I made one that's totally raw. It's very flavorful. It's not cooked. There's no meat, and it's very beautiful colors. And so if you get the bundle, check it out, try it out, and let me know.
So of course, I looked at it, right? I didn't have time in this awesome live online day to make everything from everybody, but I did look at it, and I was trying to get it on my phone to show people the pictures. So I don't know much about the background, like Jewish dish. So can you share a little bit, like, are you Jewish then? And how did you come up with the idea to create this dish and the other ones? Because I know that you do create a lot of recipes and they look very interesting. So, how do you come up with it? What is the background?
Yeah, so there's so many different religious beliefs and different religious practices, and in our area, there's a lot of Christian, Catholic, Jewish that is most common that I see. And so when I learned that there is an opportunity here, I thought, okay, I don't see a lot of the Jewish heritage transferred into something like this. It's
Mhm.
usually very fatty, and it's just it's like grandmother, like kind of soothing comfort food. And so I thought, you know what, I want to bring something that I want to try to change, because it's a joyful occasion, right? It's supposed to be in celebration and
Yeah.
happiness and new growth, new year. And so I thought that would be the one, because you don't have to be Jewish, you don't have to wait till a holiday, you can make it anytime. But being able to do something like that, then you can enjoy it. And I like to share, also, we go to a lot of potlucks. And so I like to bring and let people of all different places, different backgrounds try and give me their feedback. And we got some good feedback. So hopefully you will enjoy it too if you try it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Of course, like we cannot speak to everybody that is joining this collaboration book, because I think then we would only eat online, or you maybe your family would be able to support you to do everything else that has to be done in 11 days. So like your husband seems to be really supportive of doing this, and I totally love it. So, but I do notice that you have a very popular YouTube channel. Can you share what is this YouTube channel about?
Yes, thank you so much. I do have a YouTube channel. It's the Jennifer Diamond, if you are interested and you're unfamiliar with it. And I originally, my story is I am healing and healed from some very uh, horrible type of background in in a lot of different health issues. And so I decided, when I realized that the food was healing me, that I wanted to share my experience, and just share what's going on and how I got where I'm at and what I do. And so I decided to create the YouTube channel, and I just keep going from there. And so now I have the YouTube channel. I do have an Instagram. It's a smaller following. I'm trying to grow it as well. I have a web page, and I also, really felt so strongly about what I share on YouTube that I did end up becoming a certified plant-based nutrition coach. And I am active in taking clients now for people that want a little more one-on-one. But I love to provide lots of free content, recipes, sharing, and just there's a joy about real food and what it can do to us. And I just felt drawn to do that.
Yeah, I get you there. I get you there. Like when we've been through physically illnesses or struggles, then when you find a solution, you just want other people to know about, because you want to prevent others to go through the same, right? Like you want to be the
Yeah.
person that came to help you, isn't it?
Yeah, my journey started very early on, and I didn't realize that's where it started until looking back. But I was
Mhm.
about, 4 years old. And I had a background. My parents was a very tumultuous, very terrible, very difficult relationship. They did not get along. They divorced very early, and there was a lot of
Mhm.
stress that as a little girl that I carried. And then I had a lot of environmental allergies and just lots of things. And I started getting the traditional allergy shots at around age 4 or 5 years old, on and off for 40 years.
What is traditional allergy shots?
Okay, so when I was little, I went to a regular doctor that specializes in allergies. They're immunologists. They're Western medicine immunologists. They study the cells and why people have swelling or reactions to foods or environment or different things. And they did a test on me. It was called a scratch test, where they
Oh,
take a little. Yes. Okay. And then they
mhm.
see all the things I'm allergic to. And then they put together a serum and they inject little tiny bits in me. Every so often, like you start twice a week for so many weeks. And then every time they increase it till they get to a certain level of the medication. And it's supposed to allow your body to use it to be a defense, right? Create a stronger um, immune system to help with the problem, the reaction that you're having.
Okay. Okay. So it
So
sounds like they were injecting the stuff that you were allergic to,
it
how do you
is.
say that? It's like immunotherapy, right?
Yes, and it
Immunotherapy.
is. Yes, and that is what they're injecting in you.
Okay,
And
so you did that for 40 years?
on and off, it wasn't, yes, on
Okay,
and
so
off.
I'm thinking this is really not very working very well. Like 40
This is
years sounds
not,
like you're a regular in their practice.
that's right. It's not working very well, but it was all that I knew. It was all that I knew at the time. I didn't know there was anything else to try. I didn't even think about, I just thought, I'm allergic. My mother's allergic. My cousin's allergic. Everybody's allergic. My kids have allergies. Like I just thought that was just our genetic makeup, and that was just what I had to deal with. And I never I never knew who to turn to or what to question at that time.
Mhm.
Um, I do know as an adult with the last bit that I had, a couple things. My intuition at the time, I was nervous to get the shots. I was
Mhm.
nervous about having a reaction. And one of the shots that I used to get was because, and this is kind of, I'm skipping around a little bit, but I'm allergic, but I'm not having anything now. But at the time, I was allergic to something. They gave me a name: chronic fungal sinusitis,
Oh,
which
wow.
means, have you heard of it?
Yes, because they told me that.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. I'm still trying to like get out of that.
Oh my gosh. Well, for me, it was a bacteria in the air that we breathe that I was allergic to.
Right. Yeah, I totally understand you now. This is so helpful for me myself as well. I've had those issues like you were describing as well since from a very young age. And they always told me, yeah, you have to live with it and stuff like that. And this was what actually motivated me to also to change my diet and to become a naturopath who I am right now. So that's why I was so interested in your therapy, because I'm like, I want to know all about this because
Yeah.
I know the natural approach now, but my issues came back. And now you said bacteria in the air. I'm thinking, oh, there was this room where there was mold and it probably like triggered it again.
Yes,
Obviously,
it
like
is the mold.
it's
Yes. Oh
mold in
my
the
gosh.
air.
We have
Yeah.
so much in common. But
Like,
one of the times that so what I was saying, they take these little doses. These doses are so tiny when they start, like
yeah.
0.01 ml or this little, like a drop, right? And they try to get to point, I think it was 0.5. It's a small thing. And one of them, that fungal one, I never could get past the little droplet because I actually went into anaphylactic shock,
Wow.
which was a horrible experience. And then they have to give you more medication to stop the shock. And it was all in my head. It was such a weird feeling. And so, when I change the food, and I'm jumping around and I'm happy to jump back anytime, but when I change the food over a course of time, it went away. Like I mean, I don't want to say I'm never going to have an allergy again, but I don't do any of that anymore. I don't
Okay.
have to do the shots. I don't have to do the rinses. I had a huge problem with my sinuses. I had 3 sinus surgeries. I've had a brain tumor in the pituitary removed. I mean, I can go into anywhere that you want, but I've been vaccine injured and had small fiber neuropathy, and literally the food gave me my life back. It really, it allowed me to have quality of life again. And I had no idea. I stumbled upon it, and I just am so grateful to be here now.
I am very thankful for you sharing your story, and I just see that Kian is really sweet, my son, and he gave me this cable, but it's not the one of the computer. So if you really want to share with the audience how you get out of it and what is your secret solution, then I have a moment to go grab my cable.
Sure, that's fine. Yes, well, definitely. So, yeah, go ahead, honey. So, just going back a little bit again, right? So, after I was a teenager, finished my childhood, had the allergies, didn't know, I ended up having a lot of growths and weird tumors. I had an ovarian tumor cyst, the size they found eventually, the size of a large grapefruit. And I had to have that surgically removed. And I always had weird things growing. I had different cysts and tumors, one in my breast, on my hands, like I said, on my ovaries. And, I never thought that food was an issue. I thought, well, this happened to me, and so you surgically remove it, and so on. And then I started having the sinus trouble. And the sinus trouble was even at the time, my youngest daughter, she used to like to stand next to me, and she would walk around in a circle. I don't know. She would just hold me and just walk around in a circle. I wasn't moving, but I would get dizzy. And lots of things were happening where I had no, my equilibrium was off, and my balance was off, and I had no idea what would cause that. But when I had some x-rays done before maybe all of my surgeries, they have to do it. They went ahead and showed this area is where some of the sinuses are. They're in the nose area. They're up here. They're in the side. There's some in the back that we can't see. They should all be on the x-ray black because that's showing oxygen. And then the white would be where the bone is. And mine would show all white. It looked like all bones. So no air was getting in there. And being on an airplane was just terrible because the pressure caused all kinds of problems for me. And then they, ended up. Oh, I see you're back here. I can keep going, but I was just
listening to you. I'm listening to you because I'm hearing you talk about what it looked like on the picture, and this is super interesting.
Yeah. And so it wasn't bone at all, though. It was a thick mucus. They used to tell me like a peanut butter, like a thick peanut butter. When we blow our nose, you're supposed to have mucus. The body has liquids and blood and all of that stuff. But you're not supposed to have it so thick that it creates like a solid, like a binding, like you're building a wall, right? You want it to have things that move, fluid, and you want to have the air. And mine would stay there and be so thick that it couldn't come out. It had to be removed surgically.
Oh, wow.
and it would keep making more. It was like my body was so angry, and I thought I would suffer so much. They would go in with a camera, and they look in there with the camera, and you can see it on the screen, and they tell you this is inflammation, this is this, oh, there's a big pocket of this, and we clean it out, and not to get too graphic. um, and it was really, really tough. It was hard, and I didn't know. Now I know, I believe I had so much inflammation that my body didn't have opportunity to take this, whatever fungus, this, to get rid of it, because it was so inflamed. And so being able to bring the regular inflammation down was allowing my body to then heal the things, like somebody who doesn't have the problem. And that I learned accidentally through real food. But it took a long time, and there were some other things, and it wasn't linear. I didn't learn it and stick with it. I had ups and downs, some different things, different learning curves.
Well,
So
isn't that for everybody? We all have to trial and error, trial and error. There's like the chance that you meet somebody who can solve your problem immediately is quite small.
yeah,
It
that's
seems to me
true.
that this life is very interrupted because
Oh,
now I'm sitting with my baby here. She was like really upset mommy left, so mommy's back
oh.
now.
Oh, well, that's okay. This is, you know what? This is real life, right? And I have 4 grandbabies, and I have grown children, grown adults. And so, when they're here, I understand it's just life. And I think that people appreciate it because we're just being who we are. So
Yeah,
I'm
well, that is amazing. Thank you so much. This is also why I wrote my version in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. That's why I wrote this book, Feminine Harmony, because to be in harmony with who I am is be in harmony with what I'm doing. And I believe that, kids need their mom to be comforted. And if there's nobody else around, you know,
yeah.
then it's you. And so you should be there and not like dump them in behind the fence and say, good luck, come back in an hour. Like that's not my thing.
Yeah, okay, I agree. I didn't do that either. No dumping.
Back to the topic we were discussing.
Yeah.
Um, Sinus issues are so common right now. Like people don't talk about it. It's all artery disease, and that's what people die from, right?
You can die from sinus infections because it's
Yeah.
so close to the brain, the brain and the sinus area, and the infection can get in there. So that's, yeah.
But even if you don't have that, it's such a limitation. It can be such a limitation. Like you can see my eye maybe having this weird thing on it. No, you can't see it.
I can't see it. Your eyes look
Okay.
beautiful.
It's little red,
Oh,
and
really?
it's
Okay.
been going on for years as well. And I keep getting this inflammation, and they keep telling me they want to do something with my teeth and give a root canal and all of that. But I'm not like perfect, so I try to figure out how to get rid of it. And I noticed that when I'm hanging upside down, it can come out your nose. So I went there and I said, like, is it a good thing or a bad thing? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. Here's antibiotics. I'm like, I don't want antibiotics. I want to know how to get stuff out without you drilling a hole in me, like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it is so important to reduce the inflammation, overall inflammation, and to know like your own body, and not give it into the hands of some person that is going to hopefully fix you or not. And you
yeah.
don't know
Well,
what's going to happen. So yeah, we now have to be in charge of our own life, and it sounds like you know what you're talking about right now. And this was all from my question. How about your YouTube channel? So eventually, does it still bother you? Or like, does it come back, or is it completely finished now?
so I don't have the severity that I had before. I can have an X-ray, which I haven't. I haven't had to see a doctor in a while. But it's the color of the air. It's the black. It's not the white. So I don't have any of that. I do sometimes, in the middle of the night, feel like something's there, but it's more normal. We're supposed to have a little. I don't have what I used to have. Do I think that it will never come back? No, I don't know. I just know I know what has worked so far, and I continue to try to eat things that are anti-inflammatory. That is so easy for me to do because it's all the whole foods. Now, I was for a while eating a lot of rice, cooked rice. I know you can do raw rice. You can do the forbidden rice and you can still eat that. I have not tried it with that. And I also, when I was eating oatmeal cooked, I learned that for some people, those two things can cause inflammation in the sinuses. And so many people in just the whole food space, doctors included, like Dr. Esselstyn and different doctors that deal with cardiology issues and so forth, they promote oatmeal. And you can do a lot of things, I think, with raw. You tell me if I'm wrong, with raw oats. But for me, I did a test. I said, okay, I'm going to try something. And I took it out of the diet. And I can't say for sure, but I noticed I had even less issues. So even though something might work for somebody, maybe oatmeal is good for somebody, it's not good for somebody else, right? So cooked food might be good for somebody else. Raw is the best. That's why there's so many, I believe, these are my own beliefs, and that's why I wanted to get more involved with the raw, because I think it's got all the nutrients, all the minerals. Nothing has been depleted of it, and it's natural. So there's no inflammatory response for me that I have noticed so far. And so it's a way to go towards for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally get you there. Totally get you there. That seems to be that in raw food, you just overall people tend to react less or less severe than whole foods. But there will be people saying, but when I eat melon, when I eat pineapple, when I eat kiwi, when I eat strawberries. And yes, you can also still make antibodies against raw foods. That's also possible. But the foods I just mentioned are naturally high in histamine, which is a compound part of the whole inflammation cycle. We discussed that in our other live, right? So I would just say, if you cannot handle strawberries, take one of the other 1,000 fruits. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
just,
If it doesn't work, change it up, right?
and oatmeal, yeah, you can do a lot with it. But I started out like yourself from a whole food diet, and I didn't know about raw. Like, I didn't know anybody who did that, and I just went and felt towards raw foods slowly, and changing until I had the courage to do something that nobody in my surroundings would do or did. And I had to just, go for it all alone. And it was quite scary, except that there were some people also wanting to do like detox. Basically, yeah, not one not less cake, the other one no sugar, another one smoothie and soup, and I was like, I'm gonna do the really like strict one, because it said go eat lentils and cook lentils and go eat cooked beans, and I was like, I don't eat those because those hurt me a lot. So and then nothing else was left except simple fruits and simple greens. So I took the same route, and I think everybody is different. We all have different genetic makeups. We all have different belief systems, like you and me, and they all affect our experience in life and how we handle food and experiences. and we all do that differently. So
Yeah, and you can do this as an experiment on your own, right? Try, take something out. Yeah, if you're allergic to strawberries, well, for goodness sake, don't eat strawberries. Eat
yeah.
something else, and
And would you eat oatmeal if you know that you're allergic to gluten and you make inflammation from gluten? Most likely you would not, right?
right,
Like,
but there are oatmeals that are gluten free and glyphosate free, and you think it comes from a good source, but depending on your own makeup, if you have, and I didn't have a reaction with it. I didn't have like, oh, I'm getting a rash or I didn't know. I just heard about it, I read about it, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to I'm going to be my own experiment. I'm going to try it and I'm going to see. I'm going to do it you can't do it for one meal. You got to do it for like, a few months or whatever to give the body a chance to clear it out and see, do I feel any different? Then maybe add it back in. Did it feel
and
any different?
how long did you do that for, and what did you notice?
So I said to myself, I'm just going to do it. I don't like to, when I start, I don't like to say I'm going to do it for this much time, because I feel for me, it stresses me out. So I will say I'd like to do it for, a month or so. I do it loosely. But what I did was I did it probably for a year. And then I just would eat it a little bit, like if somebody had an oatmeal cookie or, something like that, that was a whole food made with dates and no sugar and all of that, I would have a little bit. But I think in probably the past 2 years, maybe year and a half or so, I've probably only had oatmeal, like a bowl of oatmeal once. And
Mm-hmm.
that's because there wasn't anything else. And I tried it. We were traveling. And, but I feel like for that one bowl, I didn't notice anything, right? But I also feel like when I removed it over a period of time, I continued to get better results, continued to have lower inflammation. And inflammation isn't always something we can see. So for me, I just have to, how do I feel? Some people, or even me, like when I was eating salt, way back, uh, or I couldn't squeeze my hands. They just didn't feel right, And so there's different things you have to be aware of your body and how your body feels and what works for you, and really try to get in tune with it, and I also got into like mindful eating. In society, we tend to go to the movies or sit in front of a TV and we don't even know what we're eating. We're just putting stuff in our mouth, and being aware of what you're eating and chewing it really well and all those things were really beneficial for me.
Okay, so mindful eating, people pay attention to what you're doing, right? That's what you mean, right?
Yes. So mindful eating is not multitasking. It's actually enjoying the food, looking at it. I mean, you can get crazy about it. Or if not, when you're chewing it, just chew it and think about it and break it down really to as much of a cream as you can, because this is where we break down the cells and break down the walls and get everything out. Our stomach doesn't have teeth. So once it gets down there, you want it to absorb everything. And especially if you're eating raw, I learned when I tried eating raw the first time, oh my gosh, my jaw was so sore. I was chewing and chewing.
You really go and train the muscles, I think so. So when did you like get in touch with this eating raw? Like, how did you hear from it, or how did you decided to try it out?
Yeah, so I had learned about Lissa from Raw Food Romance, and I had a couple friends, and I think we were just talking about I have one girlfriend, and she was saying she tried it once, but she couldn't do it when it became winter because it was cold and she lived in a colder climate. And she really thought it was good and she was going to do it again. Did I want to try it with her? And we had this menu plan that we got from Lissa through one of the bundles. And so I said, sure, it'll be fun to do together. And so that's how it started. And I did everything, by the menu for the whole, I think it was 6 weeks. And so that's how it started.
Wow. So you were super lucky having somebody to guide you through those first 6 weeks, right? So like Lissa was there for you to support you.
Well, I didn't know her at the time. Like I just had her recipe book, but I had a girlfriend who was doing it with me and she had tried it before. So together, that's what's so important also about community. Like even you and I, community of any level, a girlfriend, a neighbor, a big community, a potluck, whatever. It's so great to be able to not feel like you're doing something new on your own. You don't know what you're doing. People are asking questions, So community was really important and it made it fun for me to have somebody doing it together.
Yes, I totally understand. I feel you there. And I also found out later about reading some books about this, like this Napoleon Hill guy and this Tony Robbins and Stephen Covey and all these kind of, awareness books. They say we become our environment because our kids learn from us as parents. We got these mirror neurons, but that doesn't stop when you grow up. We still have them as adults. So wherever we go, we tend to try to blend in to feel accepted because it's one of our basic human needs. So once you say, I need a community, I understand. Like, I get that. I feel the same, but I also saw the science backing this up. And that's why we have the Dutch Fruit Festival. That's why we have the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. So we're not alone. And we can invite everybody else who sees our content into the community and say, look, we're here for you. We have open arms. If you want to try out this raw thing for a while, join us.
Yeah. And like, I'm not trying to convince somebody to eat a certain way, right? I'm not trying to convince it. I'm just sharing what I do. And maybe whoever's watching, maybe it's something you never considered. And maybe adding something in or trying something in or going full on, like whatever is something that you might want to do. Then you can learn from us and learn from the bundle and see for yourself, do your own blood work, do your own, like, don't believe me. I always try to share. Don't take my word that it's going to work for you. Try it and see for yourself, and then you'll know this is working, this isn't working, right?
Right. And you close up always with this give plants a chance, right? And this is about eating plant-based whole foods, no salt, no sugar, what else? No oil, no flour, what else?
Alcohol.
No alcohol.
And gluten.
Yeah, that's a drug, like I'm not even thinking about that. Like I think you want to be healthy, everybody knows you got to ditch the alcohol.
Right. But even sometimes we don't realize when you're cooking, when you're baking some, vanilla extract, right? That is derived from an alcohol. So sometimes it's hidden in places where you wouldn't even consider. Most of the time we're thinking alcohol like a big vodka or whatever, which comes from potatoes, right? So
how do you feel about tinctures then? Would you prefer no tinctures or glycerin if you need some?
So I've only ever had a tincture one time in my life. And it was so early on that I would have to revisit that. I don't know enough about it to give you an answer. But I would love to learn. I would love to learn.
Well, obviously right now you don't feel you need anything from a tincture. So that's cool. And when the time comes and you feel that is something you might want to look into, it'll come. Like I'm not into essential oils. Like I have a whole bunch of them because people keep giving me them and thinking that I want them. But yeah, they smell nice. But it's not my thing. Like, I'm not really, but I am enthusiastic about herbs in general. And if I want to use rosemary in my food, I prefer to get a rosemary from the garden, and
Mm.
not have an oil as essential oil in my food. I would just get the whole food, or I would get like dried rosemary. uh, yeah, I wouldn't put it in a tincture neither, because it's just so much available. Yeah.
So do the tinctures have alcohol? Are they derived from alcohol?
Well, I don't know exactly what derived means, if
Uh,
we're understanding
Take
it correctly.
come from. Or do they? Is it
No,
come from?
they a tincture basically is an alcohol based or glycerin based extract. So there are certain compounds in certain plants that can only be extracted from the plant through an alcohol, and they don't come out in water extraction. So that's why they use alcohol. Plus, if those compounds are in an alcohol, especially in a dark glass jar or something, they can have a very long shelf life. So let's say you have really severe problem with your blood flow to your brain. I just tell you something, and you only have ginkgo biloba in another country, but you would like to improve the blood flow to your brain and whatever. And rosemary, you don't have rosemary, so you could have rosemary and ginkgo biloba in a tincture and keep it all through the winter, using 1 or 2 drops in like a big glass of warm water to evaporate the alcohol, and still have the nutrients in there to help you improve that blood flow. And usually it comes straight from your mouth into your in your system, and you have like an immediate effect. And it's very much healthier than the synthetic supplements or synthetic drugs that a doctor would give you, or an orthomolecular therapist would give you from synthetic, yeah, support.
Okay.
So,
So now that you just taught me so much, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Um, yes. So I don't eat sofas and I don't eat gluten, but that doesn't mean that, it's like I do my best. It's not 100%, right? I don't add those things in. I try not to be a part of that, but this is a perfect example. If I had a choice between a synthetic, pharmaceutical, whatever, or you said to me, try this, I think I would want to learn more about it. But based on what I know right now from what you just told me, I would be open to trying that tincture, even though it's got that, that 1 drop, whatever. I mean, so to answer your question, I'm open to things when I have to see what are my choices, what are my options, what is the problem, what am I trying to solve,
and
and
sorry to interrupt you, but
no,
that
that's good.
last sentence is exactly my point. This is exactly what it is about. It is it is not about, ooh, there's alcohol, or ooh, the doctor gave it to me, or ooh, it's not raw, or whatever. It is this last sentence, what you just said. I'm open for options. What are my options? And what is the most healthiest choice that will give me the desired result?
Yes, exactly.
I'm
And
very
that is how I got to be where I am now. And I'm still a work in progress. I'm still trying to heal things. I had a pituitary adenoma, which is the pituitary is a gland we have. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's at the base of the brain between the eyes, and inside it's the size of like a little pea. Inside my pituitary, I had a tumor, and I had to have it removed. And so that's another thing. And then I ended up having a small fiber neuropathy, and all of these different things. And so through that trial and error and being open, I was able to learn, okay, this seems to be what's working. I'm feeling better. I can get up and move my hips. I'm not bedridden anymore. I was bedridden. I was in bed. I could not feed myself. I could not do anything. I was miserable. I really love life, and I love everything that it has to offer. But I was in a very dark place, and I remember telling my husband, like, I don't want to live anymore if I have to be like this. I'm not suicidal, and I said that. I was crying every day, all day long. Just I had buzzing, tingling, bzz, 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 and just in the body, all over the face, everywhere, nonstop for 14 months. Every moment I had a sensation. And if I got up or moved, it would increase. It would get higher and higher. And trying to solve another problem, trying to bring cholesterol down, I went back to eating the plants and doing things the way that I knew. And what I stumbled on is that I can sit up. I'm not, the sensation is lower. What's happening here? What is going on? Is the food doing something? And so that, I didn't know to expect that. And here something fantastic came out of it.
Wow, I'm so happy to hear that. That's such a powerful healing story. Like, I was not expecting that. Like, I asked you in the beginning, like, what did you notice? Like, this is gigantic. This is gigantic. And it's such a powerful story. And you're just such a big example for everybody. I'm so happy that you have that channel where you share everything. I mean, I just feel the gratefulness right now, like, for that. And yeah, I really appreciate you sharing that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me, because that was what I was motivated. I went to 4 neurologists specializing in nerves, and they all told me it was in my head, and I must have PTSD, stress disorder, and
Stress disorder.
yeah, and it was like not being validated for something that I'm telling you, but all the tests say is fine, but I'm telling you something's wrong, and that was really hard. So when I finally got a diagnosis, the small fiber neuropathy, and I said okay to the doctor, what do we do? What's the plan? How do we, and he said, there's no plan. We'll never fix this. It's only going to get worse. You're always going to be on brain altering medications. This is it. And so when I realized that the food was healing me and he just didn't know anymore, I'm grateful for him. He got me an answer, and then he didn't know anymore, so I needed to go somewhere else. I am not angry with him. I'm so grateful for him. But when I realized that this is what's happening here, I would think about those patients in his room and him telling them the same things. And I would just feel like, oh my gosh, I used to dream like I want to stand outside the office, and when they come out and they're devastated, I want to say, like, try this radical thing of fruits and vegetables and see if it works for you. Because when someone tells you you're never going to heal, your quality of life is over, and you put so much into what they know, their value, what they've studied, it's devastating. It's beyond. It's like you lose hope. And you don't have to lose hope. So I wanted to reach those people and say, have a watermelon, right?
I feel you. Really. Yeah. I think everybody who watched this video now or will watch it after will absolutely feel that emotion that you went through the bottom. You went in the dark hole and you came out of it, and that's the hero. You are the hero. You're the example, and I'm really proud to see that you are sharing that, even though I don't know you yet a lot, but I feel so proud for you. And yeah, and I mean, I can recognize it from myself. Like, I've heard it the same for you, like you said, it's unsolvable. But yeah, we can only decide if anybody sees this who has been told it's unfixable, unsolvable. It doesn't mean it's unsolvable. It just means that this one specific person you're talking to doesn't know. They're just telling you that this one person doesn't know. You go to the next, you go to the next, you go to the next. And then at some point, there is somebody who knows.
Yeah.
So that's
I
how it works.
I totally agree with you. And, I mean, I went all over the country. I went all over, and I had signs. I mean, just very interesting signs, that I should or shouldn't be doing something. And, so then I realized, okay, the Western medicine, and it has helped me in so many places. And this one, I need to try something new, something different. So I went and I did a water fast for 14 days. I
That
went.
is a little bit out of the other spectrum, but okay, that is totally cool that you found that and that you wanted to try that. Is this just for the chronology? Did you have an operation in the pituitary when you went to find other solutions, or you did it after?
I did have the surgery. I did. And uh, so, yes, I was in the hospital. They did have two teams of doctors, teams, not two doctors, two teams of doctors. One to get up, and you don't, in the olden days, they would cut your face, but now they can do it through the sinus. So I had a team of surgeons that brought them up through the sinus to the base of the brain. And then the other team went in to the brain, to the pituitary, and extracted the adenoma, the growth. And they didn't know what would happen. Is the pituitary the side we're leaving? Is it going to pick up for the other one? Are your hormones going to work properly? Are you going to be able to function? Will you be able to have bladder control? Will you be able, like, all these things? You might be on medicine, da da da. Mine, it took over. I'm good. Like, it's doing the work. And I didn't know at that point, but it was after I got the small fiber neuropathy, after I was diagnosed with that. And that was, for me, I was vaccine injured. It's just what happened to me. I'm not telling anybody what works for them. It's just what happened to my body. I had so much inflammation, I believe, and it just sent it over the edge. And so it was after that I tried these other things that I knew about, or I'd heard about. And I thought, you know what, I got to try this water fasting. And I flew to California, and I went to True North Health Center, and it was a medically supervised water fast. And my family thought I was absolutely nuts. They're like, "You're not going to eat? What?" And
You think only eating raw food is extreme, but going in a water fast is like way, way beyond that.
yeah, but
I think it's normal, but yeah, that is just because I've been in this world for 9 years now.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I grew up, I shared that my father became a medical doctor. I grew up with this, I don't want to say pedestal, but I looked to the medical industry as they know, and I should just do what they know, because that's what my family, that's what they taught me. But when I realized there are other forms that I don't know about, it's okay to explore those and try something different. And what are the pros and cons? Well, the pros and cons of a surgery are a lot. The pros and cons of pharmaceuticals are a lot. What's the pro and con of, changing the food? What's the pro and con of trying a water fast, medically supervised, so that I'm protected? And I don't know what I'm doing, but they do. Like, and so what makes sense now? Where can I pivot? Because I didn't want to give up. There was no way I was going to accept this doctor telling me how it's going to be for the rest of my life. No way.
So after you had the surgery,
After I had the pituitary surgery, yes, it was a
and
couple
then
years
they still
later.
told you have to go through like buzzing.
So after I had the surgery, then I got the problem with the buzzing a couple years later.
All right.
And then they told me, yes, you're never going to heal up.
Okay. Because
But
I think it's interesting that all the symptoms that are related to the medical names you just mentioned are hormonal related. And I mean, having just written the book that I just contributed to the bundle, it's super interesting to hear about your personal story and how you made the choice. And also that you did have the surgery and then later you had the buzzing, which told you something's off in your nervous system, something in your brain is giving wrong signals, and now you're standing there telling us it all went away.
yeah, I have sometimes a tiny little something, hardly at all. I can't say 100%, but I could say like 99, and I can do things, and it's more of like a reminder. If I feel something, I could say, okay, I feel you. I acknowledge you, and then I can keep going, and I don't even recognize I forgot because it stopped. Whereas before, it would it would break me. I would fall to the ground. I would sob. It just took over my body, and so I don't have that anymore. I am just so grateful, and I don't take it for granted. I always think, okay, can it come back? Hopefully not, because I understand that the nerves, if they're healed before there's permanent damage, they can regrow. But these are the small fibers. So they're all the little hairs off of the main nerve, where a lot of people have neuropathy when they have diabetes, and that's in their feet, mostly. And that comes from the main nerve going down the leg. Well, mine was all the little hairs all over all the nerves. So it was everywhere. So it's a little different. But yeah, just wanted to share that.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And if necessary, you can always pick my brain on this. I love this topic. It is just something I've dove into since my grandma had some nerve dye, according to the doctors, which I don't really believe. But indeed, she stopped feeling, um, yeah, feet and things. And yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she didn't want to do the diet, and now she don't move anymore. Now she, since a couple of days, she's in a hospital, or not in a hospital, in a care center because she's so much pain, and they give her medication to not have pain. But yeah, I dove into it a couple of years back, and I found, yeah, I think that if you want to pick my brain or anybody, you're more than welcome to. I want this knowledge to be spread, and not to be kept hidden in one book or one research. So
Yeah.
yeah, good for you.
I,
So
uh,
what
I,
happened after the water? Sorry, you want to say something? I want to ask what happened after the water fast. Like, I want to know the
oh,
story.
I was no, I can share about the water. I was just going to say, I feel for your family, for your grandmother, and I wish everybody was able to heal and not suffer. So I just wanted to share that I feel for you and your family. But there are people that I've talked to, even in my own family, even in my husband's family, extended family, friends. I mean, anyone, neighbors, where they see what I'm doing, and they know. See, I think it's important if someone has the knowledge to know I could try something different. Then if they decide I don't want to try something different, I've heard people say to me, I'm not giving up my cheese, my animal product, whatever it is that might be
Mm-hmm.
causing the problem. Well, as long as you know that you could try something different, I feel like I accomplished something to share. But when people, everybody has to make their own choice. And if they choose, no, I don't want to do this, there is a consequence to every action we take. Sometimes the consequence is positive, sometimes it's negative. So whatever you do, whatever it is, good, bad, or indifferent, when we make a decision, when we make a choice, there's a consequence. And if you're okay with whatever that consequence is, then 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 that's what you do. I mean, I have a family member right now who's going to be dealing with a huge surgery on Monday. The family member has bone cancer in the jaw, and I tried my best to share things to try to just calm it down, even if you want to have the surgery or whatever they're offering. But you know, I spent a lot of time and effort, and that person decided, you know, they want to do what they know, and what they know is not this. So it just depends on the individual.
I
And
understand this.
yeah,
My well, the father of like my boyfriend, he had the same. He's a doctor, and they said, oh, it's not harmful, this tumor cells, it will not go anywhere, it doesn't hurt you. I went to get the surgery and the radiation therapy. Yeah, now he's all sick and he can't do anything anymore. Yeah, it cannot help now, you know, like now you have to wait until your body is repairing everything. But
yeah,
yeah, this is really what people believe. And if they don't see that what you do is helpful for them, then we can't try to change them. We don't have to try to
right,
change them.
yeah,
It's not a job. But yeah, we can share for those who are willing. Like me, I was willing to try anything, like anything. Like
me
I
too.
was there at this bottom of the stairs, I'm like, this is not my life. Like you said, in the bed, like I need to go get, like, I can't take care of my child. This is a problem. Like I feel pain, I feel tired. My brain is so foggy and fuzzy all the time. Like I feel like I'm a zombie. This is
Yeah,
not, like, I don't even know who I am anymore.
yeah,
To the point where when you pick up your lifestyle, that you can travel the world and be conscious and do another study and enjoy your life, and make conscious decisions and contribute to other people's lives, and not just hope that one day you'll be able to shower and actually hold your baby without problems.
yeah,
So yeah, it's just a whole different version of wanting something. Your needs and your what I want in life change when you are ill. When you're healthy, you want everything, and when you're ill, you're just like, I wish it was better.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. Not trying to make a decision for anyone. Just putting the knowledge out there to try. You could try something different, and it's very radical. Oh, what is it? It's eating foods that grow on the tree. It's just eating fruits and vegetables. And
Yeah,
oh
but
my God,
really crazy, like if you would have told me that when I was 15, I would have looked at you like, right, we eat healthy,
right,
and I would
right,
just like forget about it and go do something else. Like it's not
exactly.
something that I or a lot of people, like, you're not busy with that topic. I don't know how to say it different in English. Like in Dutch, you say busy with the topic. Like this topic is not in your world right now. You're busy with
No,
other topics.
yeah,
So if you would say that, you just come in here and come out there, and then you
yeah.
continue your life. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just try to do what works for me. And if somebody's interested, and they want to try it, and they have a question, or they want to work with me, or whatever. But if somebody's not interested, I just do what works for me, and I just try to take care of myself, because that is what we can do. We can't change anybody's perspective, and I would never want to push anything on anyone. I think we all do the best we can with the knowledge that we have, and different people just make different decisions. So, and
Mhm.
Apple O'Day says health is wealth. Yes, it is. I
Mhm.
appreciate that. And I just want to say hello to everybody that's watching, and just please feel free to answer or ask any questions for either one of us that you have. And um, we we appreciate you being here. And you had asked me if I would share something past the water fast. What did you want me to tell?
Well, I don't know. I hope, like, how it was. Were you able to, like, walk or work out or do exercise, or do you just sit down, or what do you do? And then, like, how does it feel? Can you sleep? Like, I did a water fast sort of by accident, and like I didn't know anymore if I was meditating, dreaming, sleeping, or awake at some point.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm really curious about your experience. And did you heal something? Did you get out what you wanted, or was it maybe a bad experience? Like, what happened?
yeah, I'm happy to share. I do want to mention on my channel, the Jennifer Diamond on YouTube, I do have a video that I shared very detailed about that water fast stay. But I'll
We can
tell
also
you,
go there. Yeah, we can also go there. I mean, we have all these wonderful people joining on your channel, and I'm super curious to get to know them. I see like the Herban Pharmacy says, "Wow, Jennifer, this is an unbelievable story," and Tanya says, "Wow, it sounds like you went through a lot. So happy you're okay." So yeah, they're really feeling for you, and we're really happy that you came out of it. So yeah, and there's I don't saw Stacy what she say what is who is Stacy? I don't know who is
oh,
Stacy, but
oh, yes. Hi, Stacy. Stacy's from the Urban Pharmacy, and yes, she's a lovely lady and has her own channel as well. So
oh,
thank you for
amazing,
being here, Stacy.
amazing.
Yeah.
Nice to
So
meet you, everybody.
yes, absolutely. You are an amazing story yourself with so much knowledge. And of course, people, if you are unfamiliar with Wendy, you have got to definitely check out her channel. Get the bundle. I mean, I know we're talking about a lot of things, but really, she has an amazing contribution in the bundle. And you know, it would be wonderful if you click either, go in either of our bios, click the link and get it. You have till May 11th. You want to download it by June 30th. Otherwise, they're not going to be hosting it past. And a lot of times bundles you can download for a year, but this one there was some challenges. So you don't want to wait that long anyways, right? You want to enjoy it. And yeah, in fact, I think Stacy from the Urban Pharmacy is in the bundle as well. And she has something on microgreens. Isn't that right, Stacy?
Oh, it's this Stacy. Is
Yeah.
Stacy ready or not?
Yeah. So,
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool.
yeah. So, you know, that would be wonderful. Let's see. My husband teaches how to grow microgreens in the raw bundle. Oh, yeah. Okay. So she just said that, and I didn't see the chat. So yes, it's also wonderful to have so many people contributing. And you know, even if you're not raw, you could still get the bundle. You'll still learn lots of things. There's even a
Oh,
thing on
yeah.
permaculture in there, and just tons of information. Lissa's got stuff, and just I'm 32 contributors, I think, valued at $1,300 for $50. So, anyways,
Yeah, it's almost nothing. Like each and every one of these books could be sold for this price, or at least half of it, like 25, $30 would be what I would ask for my book. And I'm sure I will, because I think, oh, my baby wake up.
oh,
Hi. Yeah. Yeah,
oh,
she's still sleeping on me. She fell asleep because I think she was missing me. Oh, she fell back
oh,
asleep now.
so sweet.
Oh, yeah, I'm just holding her. I think she missed me in the last 3 days because I dumped her with her brother and my mom. And yeah, I
So
did
much,
that.
so much
So
bundle stuff to do. Well, it's all good. Yeah, she's got you
uh,
now.
I want to talk with everybody from the bundle. And yeah, I also want to be there for my child. So yeah, she wants me to be there at least. Oh,
Yeah, it's hard. I know.
I'm
I
gonna
feel the
try
same
my other
way.
arm. I'm gonna
What was
try
that?
my other. I'm gonna try my other arm. It's really
Oh,
important.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, if I would have put her in the bed, she would wake up by now and cry and stuff. So I thought, yeah, I'll just hold her because I don't want to have her falling out of the bed or cry or whatever.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. I think that's wonderful. Do it while you can because they grow up so fast.
Oh yeah. Well, the oldest still's like, "Can I sleep with you?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No,
Oh, my goodness.
you're almost 12. Like, did you shower? Like, did you clean socks today? It's a little different.
Oh, oh, Apple a day says holding a sleeping baby is the best feeling.
Yeah, well, it's super loving. It's super loving.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
Els
it's
is
really
here.
all about these, oxytocin that we're making by holding the sleepy baby and what it can do for your child is as for a great nervous system, like with a lot of confidence and stamina without you having to tell them anything. Then you would want to look at the feminine harmony. That is like, yeah,
That is your book. That is
that
your book.
yeah, I sorry I keep talking about it, but it's
No, talk about it. It's fabulous.
bought the bundle, so like go check it out. Like
Yeah, no, it's absolutely fabulous, and I have dove into it, but there's so much there. I have so much more to learn and try and read and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely great.
yeah, and that's also secretly why we join us, so that we get the other people's books. Like that's
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. And just so I want to make sure that I answer your question, you were asking about how I felt after the water fast and my experience with it. And so basically, to just not go on and on and on, it was something I'd never done before. And I just was open to trying it. I thought, wow, what if this heals me? I was starting to improve. And I thought, what if this just makes it that much faster, catapults it? And I had to try. And my family thought I was nuts. My mother was nervous, giggling, and my husband thought, oh my gosh, what do you mean you're not going to eat? But in the end, they all supported me, and that was really lovely. And I was there over my birthday. And I just said, and so one of the family members said, you're going to be there on your birthday? Like, you're not going to have cake? And I said, no, I'm going to have water.
yeah. How about cake? I haven't had regular cake in 15 years. I don't miss it.
I don't miss it either. And
I look at it and I think, nah, that's never gonna taste good. Like it's totally unattractive. I could have just looked at a piece of cutlery or my computer. Like it's that attracted to eat. Like totally, I have. For some people, it's not. They cannot like envision something like that. But when it happens, I can tell you once you go over the 3 years, nothing else look interesting anymore. It just goes away. Like
yeah. Well, you don't have the same dopamine hits. You don't have.
I think probably it's not in my world anymore. It's like the red car, look outside. Okay, I want you to look at the red car. Can you find a red car? And then for the rest of the day, you'll see red cars everywhere, even though the exercise already finished. Right. That's how the brain works. So if you do 3 years only eating raw whole foods and maybe have some cooked things here and there that you make yourself, then anything that's in a bag of crisps or in a box of cake will not look in. Like I even have it with people that really make really beautiful raw vegan cakes because they look so beautiful that they look like artificial sugar dolls, and then it doesn't attract me to eat it because I'm like, I don't know, like it looks very sugary and heavy and I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I've done some birthday cakes just made out of fruit, and it's fun. It's, you want to celebrate the person, and we're traditionally usually doing it through a sugary dessert of some sort, but you can still celebrate that way. And you could just do it with fruits. I've made a 3-tier cake out of watermelon, and it's fun. And you could get the family involved and the kids and everything, and it's been fun. So, but anyways, my water fast experience was, at first, it was a little tough because at the time it was where they were saying there was COVID restrictions. And so the first 3 days when you traveled there at that time, you couldn't come out of your room. And you could go to like the outdoor areas, but it was pouring rain the whole time. So nobody was outside. So the first few days I had a pity party. I was by myself. I didn't know anyone. I was not feeling good. And then I realized, I want to be here. The first few days, I felt like why is this happening to me? Why am I being punished? I felt like that. I remember telling my husband that. And then I got over that, right? I just had to work through it. And then I'm like, okay, this is a privilege. And then I looked at it as a privilege, and it truly was a privilege and a gift. And by the end of the stay, you asked me, how did I sleep? I kept myself on a schedule. I made sure that I had the water, for my body size, they had me drink, I think it was 7 12-ounce glasses of water throughout the day. So in my mind, I said, okay, by, lunchtime, I have to have this many. And so by the end of the evening, I wanted to have my last water finished a few hours before I went to bed, or maybe at least an hour or two. And I tried to give myself a schedule. And for the most part, I think I slept good, maybe not at first, but the environment was so relaxing. And there was a lot of things you could do. So they offered classes, you could talk with people, you could go for gentle walks, they had treatments, they had yoga, you could do a massage. Not all of that was included. You can learn. So there wasn't like you just have to sit in a room. You could, if you want to just rest. I did a lot of self-reflection, and they check you throughout the day. I think 4 times, 2 doctors, 2 nurses. And you have, your blood tested once a week. There were urine samples. So I felt safe. I felt like I was being monitored and I was in a safe place. And by the end, when I refed, and then they have you eat their food, which is the whole food plant-based, no salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar, or gluten. And they teach you have to do it in stages. And by the end, I had people saying to me, okay, you're coming home. Are you fixed? Well, it's not like a light switch. It's not like taking the Tylenol for a headache. I said, I am not, I talked to the doctor about it actually. And they said, you got to give it like a good 6 to 8 weeks, or maybe even 3 months. But definitely like 6 to 8 weeks of allowing your body to continue to generate the healthy cells, clean out the bad cells, get rid of the defective cells, and so forth. And so that's what I told people. I said, it's going to take time. I don't know yet. I am supposed to give it a few months. And people were acceptant of that. And that made it easier, because I think having the pressure of somebody saying, did it work? It didn't work. I mean, that was a waste. Like, are you going to eat this steak now or whatever? So it's like, so when I felt comfortable, the doctor shared with me, and I knew, don't expect something that quickly, then I felt better. Now, 6 months later, yes, looking back, it really did help me. It really did. My healing continued and continued and continued. And then I continued to eat the way that they taught me at the time. And I think that also made a difference. So,
yeah, beautiful. So how many days were you there again?
So I was there 23 days. I started on a juice. They started me on a juice fast because I was on a lot of medications, and they needed to get me off of, most of them I got off of, and then I have a thyroid disorder. So I was on thyroid medication, and they have to cut that in dose. So to be safe, and I had never done it before, they had me start on a juice. And then once I had that for a few days, they did the blood came back perfect. They said, yes, you can do the water now. And so all of that was 14 days. And then
the water was 14 days.
I had a couple of days of juice first. Yeah. And then I can't remember exactly. I would have to look, but it was a total of a 14-day fast. And then and then they do whatever length of time you do your fast. So I did 14 days. So then half of that time is the refeed. So 7 days for me was the refeed. And then I was there a day early and I stayed an extra day. So it was 23 days that I was there. It was wonderful experience. If you have an opportunity and you think it could help you, I say definitely take a chance. Even people were going there to vacation, and they would just go there to eat the food. You know, they have a big salad bar. They do cooked food there, but there's a lot of just a lot of wonderful food that's nurturing for and healing. Yeah.
I've heard a lot about it. Yes, it sounds like a really wonderful place. I think I even know someone in from the bundle who worked there. So yeah, absolutely. I think it's a wonderful place. What I've heard about. Yeah, very
Yeah.
very interesting. Hey, yeah, this one here is gonna need some mama soon.
That
So,
sounds great.
is there anything more that you want to share about your health journey that you feel like rounds
Yeah.
it a little bit?
Sure. Yes. I just want to say thank you again for, this opportunity and chance to chat with you and learn and share. Um, I would just say that it's a journey. There is no, for me anyways, and everything that I share is based on my own experience, right? So there's no end. It's not like I'm going to lose 10 pounds by Friday and the diet ends. It's a journey. So it's a life choice. And that the word life in there, right? That's a special word to have in there for me, because I want to have a good, sustainable, wonderful, healthy life. And so I would just say, if this is something that you think could help you in any level, I would encourage you to give it a try, and give it a fair try, and know that you're not alone. There's lots of community, and that's a really important thing we talked on. Um, and when I say a journey, it's because my journey's not over. I'm still healing certain things. I've been doing this on and off for many years, and but I'm dealing still with some thyroid stuff, and some other things that I'm learning about and hoping to continue to heal. So don't give up. How about that?
I think that's a good one. We have to be like these little 1-year-olds. Like, they don't give up, right? They just like try anything to get your attention and what they want. And they even learn to crawl, they learn to walk, they learn to grab, they learn everything. We have to continue to be like that. Like, you
Yes.
want to move forward and yeah, go there, let it come to you. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And be curious, right? About something that's new. It's fun to watch them, and your family and you are such a pleasure and beautiful. And I hope to continue our relationship past the bundle.
Well, thank you so much. I can say for sure, and it would be an honor to have you once again to actually do the questions. But I found this topic of your healing story the most important, and also the most interesting ever. It's always the most interesting story for people, like how they got there, where they got. And yeah, we will meet for sure in the future.
Yes, and I
Thank
want to
you
say,
so much.
yeah, thank you. And thank you everyone for tuning in. And like I always say, don't forget to eat your greens and give plants a chance. Give them a chance. So take
Thank you,
care.
everybody, as well. Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you, beautiful people. I don't see how much people watch, but I appreciate every single one of you. And last thing you do, go grab the bundle. And it was very nice meeting all of you that replied. So yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Wendy.
and see you in the future.
Take care. Bye, everyone.